Okie dokie. Hi. Let's see who we're doing next. I'm starting to figure out things like the lighting, etc., etc. But Scorpio is here tuned for your May general read. Please check the description box for everything that you need to know, including where you can check out your natal chart, etc., etc., etc. We're going to start with the magnetic poetry, as we typically do. Messages for Scorpio, Sun, Moon, Rising, and Venus. We'll talk about that after. I've been going through all my streaming services and all of my subscriptions and things like that, trying to figure out what I do and do not need. So if you've seen my Insta lately, I was trying to figure out if my Instagram, if I needed to have my blue check mark on there. Yes, you do. Well, I haven't figured it. The verdict's out on that still, but you might be reviewing that kind of stuff, your affordability on things. I also discovered that I do need my YouTube my YouTube Premium account. Please get a pen and a piece of paper so that you can write down these things. Specifically, I think the YouTube Premium account, the reason that I need it is because when I'm meditating or doing yoga, I don't particularly like to have to skip ads and things like that. You get ad-free with that. But then also, like ad-free streaming. But then the other thing is that when I'm at work, I like being able to kill my screen and still listen to things. So there's that. Okay, pink and black. Somebody wearing pink and black. I don't know. That's interesting. Nobody else has gotten the colors, right? So there you go. Those are your words. I guess technically I could also have coffee over here too, because I don't have to worry about looking a certain way when I sip my coffee because I'm not on camera. Okay, cool. We're going to use the Revelations Tarot for you. We're doing a past, present, future spread. Six cards each row. And again, you know, because you're watching this on YouTube, you'll have the benefit of zooming into cards to see what we're talking about when we're specifically talking about certain cards. And I also have the benefit of not holding things up for you to see, so and also being able to refer to things and show you them, and it just makes for a far more efficient reading. I've done 3 so far, and none of them have been an hour. One of them was 46 minutes. The other 2 were closer to 35 minutes. Actually, I think Libra's was like 31 minutes. Yeah. And twist for fairness. Okay. All right, we only take flippers and jumpers if you didn't already know. So, like that. You're going to have to take it when it falls out. 9 of Wands. 9 of Wands in the reverse. First thing, like immediately before we could even get started. So the 9 of Wands. There's this defensiveness. Why are you so defensive? What's your problem? You know, often we look at the 9 of Wands as if it's somebody who's defensive, but also living in that, there's tarot cliches all over the place, but in that wounded warrior energy, you know. I just want to be able to look and make sure that we're where we should be. But that's like wounded warrior energy. The guy who's been beaten over the head with a bunch of sticks a million times, and he's almost done his journey. However, he's got bandages all over his head, and he's done. He's done, you know? might be very defensive, might have offensive swords all, I'm sorry, offensive wands all around him, as we can see there, to protect himself. Yeah, so that's you in the recent past. What else do we see in the recent past, Scorpio? Sun, Moon, Rising, and Venus. Too many. We can't take them. Spirit, pink and black. We'll say it's 4. See, I have a whole rule about taking jumpers. If they come out, I can't take more than 4. Then that just becomes random card vomit, right? I'm just looking at the words there. The words off camera. So there's something about the words. There's something about the words that you're supposed to pay attention to. Fuck. Yeah, there's something. Fuck the cards. Listen to the words. Fuck the cards. Listen to the words. Okay. Okay. 3 cups in the reverse. So the last 2 signs, we had Pisces and we had Libra, and they had the 3 of cups here. You're defensive in the recent past over gossip. People talking shit about you behind your back. Often 3 individuals getting together over drinks to have a little chit chat. A little shit chat, actually, if anything else. You're really defensive and standoffish because of this. Of course. That's obvious, right? No. Well, okay. All right. Yeah. Somebody's saying not to give a shit. You know, fuck them kind of thing. Fuck what they have to say. Who gives a fuck? That kind of thing. That's coming through. There's a lot of that coming through in the recent past. Who gives a fuck? Fuck them. Fuck what they think. Who gives a fuck what they say? That kind of thing. That's what's being said. Drop the responsibility. Drop the burden of this. Drop the burden of the gossip. Drop the burden of the people talking shit behind your back at the party. Drop the burden and the responsibility of trying to uphold some sort of image that people are that these 3 assholes are going to talk shit about behind your back anyway. But following this, there is that realization anyway that there are responsibilities and burdens that you do have to drop. One of these being them is the defensiveness, because you're acutely aware that that's happening. What else? Okay. Decisiveness. Hey, we had somebody had, I think they had this in either Taurus or Libra, had this card in this position. 2 of Pentacles. Yeah, dropping responsibility and burden and choosing to devote your energy to one of 2 paths that you were contemplating. Seriously contemplating. You weren't entertaining one or the other, but you were contemplative about 2 energies and unable to decide which was the better of the 2 to develop or to devote your energy solely towards. There was ambiguousness with your energy. And it seems that after some time meditating on which of two different energies that you would devote yourself to. That now you've kind of come into a different space with it, where you feel free to express the decision, the choice. You of two minds. You were of two minds. Dropping the burden of responsibility has allowed you to move forward with decisiveness. I don't necessarily think that this is about choosing an individual. I think that outward appearances, especially considering that we have this gossip monger over here, the gossip monger and their buddies, I think that they might believe so, that this is two people, but often the Two of Pentacles gets a bad rap for being like that. Like, oh, somebody's juggling two. No, that's not true. It's the juggling of two energies, two efforts, two paths to devote yourself to. Remember that Pentacles aren't just about money. I think there are individuals out there who do a really good job of talking about that and addressing that, but it's also that the Pentacles are about where you spend your time, where you spend your energy, where you devote your efforts. You know, those tangible things that happen on the earthly plane. And so it's absolutely about more than just juggling two energies as far as a romantic situation. In fact, most of the time it's not. Even if we had this attached to it, I would still say that it's not like that. I think that once you have done the meditation and careful forethought to choose to devote yourself solely to one path, one place, instead of dispersing your energy among two different things, that it frees you up and makes you more joyful, so that you can go ahead and kind of explore the heights of emotion in your connections a little bit more. When all is right at work, then we feel more open-minded and happy and jubilant and jovial, and our connections with others also kind of by osmosis do better. You know? When all is going well in one area, things, at home tend to follow. At least we hope that they do. But I think that's what's happening here. I don't think this is like, I chose one guy over another, and so, yeah, we're going to be happy, we're going to get married and have a million kids, and along comes the mom with a baby here. No. Yeah. But that's in the recent past. What else? Yeah. Confusion lifting. There's confusion that lifts here. The moon is often about deception, confusion, nightmares, what happens in the dark, This card depicts it as Piscean energy, but I often attribute the moon to Cancerian energy. I think there's confusion that lifts about this height of emotional fulfillment that you achieve in your connections. It may not actually be with the person where you're experiencing these deep emotional connections. But the confusion lifts that once you are able to pick a path and move forward in a more focused manner, that your connections benefited as well. Your family connections, your friendships, colleague relationships with colleagues where you know have like an apprentice master type relationship that's really mutualistic and beneficial. But then also your romantic relationships, the confusion lifts. It's the dawning of a new day. I hear that. It's the dawning of a new day. That's that song, The Stars, the Moon, the New Dawn, New Day. Is that like Florence and the Machine? New Dawn, New Day, the stars, the moon. I think it's like Modern Love or something. Not Modern Love, but something like that. Something Love. She goes, New Dawn, New Day. Something in the twilight. In the shadows of something. Yeah, think of that song. That's the mood that this is kind of bringing in for you, talking about this. It's a new dawn, new day. Sorry, words are really escaping me on this. Is it Florence and the Machine? I think it is. Anyway. Okay, in the present for you, Scorpio. Of course, after I shoot off my mouth about all the other readings being less than an hour so far, I bet you your reading isn't going to be less than an hour. If you're still here. Okay, let's see. What else? Present energy for you, Scorpio. Okay. Yeah, my patience is wearing thin for me too. The Hermit. Virgo energy. It's in the reverse, so it's coming out. It's emerging from that cave. It's that, yeah, the new dawn, new day. You know, something has dawned on you, and what's dawned on you is something about yourself. You've emerged from the cave of self-discovery, having learned something massive about yourself. You've had a revelation about yourself. You had to take some and it's because you connected with yourself and you spent some time alone doing things in silence. Think like the monk and when he has that vow of silence thing going on, you know. But now he's done that part. He's been all about that scene, and now he's finally I don't know why I think this is also funny. It's not funny. Nothing's funny here. There's nothing comical about this shit. Anyway, he's emerged from this cave and he's found something out about himself. Maybe there's something about yourself that you did find was actually funny. Or maybe you found out that you're actually a pretty comical person, but it's only through having the time to listen to yourself and connect with yourself and be alone and be silent that you actually listened to yourself and understood better. You know? I don't know. This is in the present. You're either voicing this and sharing this with somebody out loud, the things that you discovered when you had to spend time getting to know yourself outside of the noise. There's like noise. It's like there's something that you had to like spend time in a place that was truly quiet. There's a place that's like you know, like when, you know, you finally shut the doors, or when you finally got to a place where you had no distraction and you learned something about yourself. Something that you didn't know before, you know. Okay, alrighty. What else in the present? Scorpio, Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus. Okay. You gained the perspective. Thank you. See how that just flew out and hit right on top of that. And it was necessary gaining a perspective. You put yourself, you actually isolated yourself on purpose. It was intentional. That's what this card is saying about this this thing that you learned, is that it was an intentional that you did this. it was intentional that you put yourself in a position to kind of get away from the noise of things. I don't necessarily, but it wasn't necessarily intentional for you to learn something about yourself. I think you were trying to learn something, like see something else from different perspectives rather than looking inward. He's looking outward. The hermit, the hermit is looking inward rather, whereas the hanged man is looking outward for perspective on a situation. He's trying to see things from many different angles, whereas a hermit is going within to learn about himself. Pisces energy. And he puts himself up there. He's not bound. Do you see? He's not bound here. He's literally chosen to put himself in that suspended animation in order to see something from many different viewpoints. There's a confusion here in the present. So maybe you've learned something about yourself, but also now what's ending up happening is that you're confused. It's those people. You're confused why these people are talking about everything in the first place. And you may also be confused about who your friends are, confused about why people would take the point of view that they did in a certain way. I think the big thing to remember is that why isn't actually important. If you're looking for perspectives, I'll give you one. Why isn't actually important. So many people waste so much time trying to understand other people. Shitty people's shitty motives are not important. Do you know? Trying to unburden yourself by understanding other people's perspectives. This is a burden for you. The fact that people are, taking the time, going out of their way to connect with each other. And instead of talking about important things or things that mattered or positive things, they were taking the time to sit with one another during a time of celebration or while breaking bread with each other to exchange negative energy, negativity, and I'm also at the same time trying to channel what I'm hearing. Negativity and gossip. It's like super low vibe. Anyway. What else? There's this commercial on TV in the next room, and it uses like this vibe sound from a phone, and it's like, I keep thinking that my phone isn't recording. And it's vibrating, and like somebody's calling. Three of Wands in the reverse. You got 2 3s in the reverse thus far. There's impatience. You're impatient about something here. You're impatient. You're thinking if you dropped all the burdens and you just let go of something, that you're impatient to try and let go of this. First of all, we were just talking about that. But there's something that you can't wait to leave behind. You can't wait to try to understand. Can't wait to get all of the info on to see all of the different. You're trying to clear the confusion of something, trying to see it from all different angles. And you can't wait to figure it out. You can't wait to resolve it for yourself. You can't wait to understand it from the many different viewpoints. This has nothing to do with this. I think that you're burdened by all these different viewpoints. You're somebody who has a lot of different opinions and gossip around you. At all times. Queen of Pentacles in the reverse. And part of the problem with all of this is that it creates a laziness within you. It burns you out. It creates a lack of motivation. Looking at the Queen of Pentacles in the reverse, it's like a lack of motivation, a lack of passionate feeling towards something. The inability to experience a drive and an ambition for things that you once cared about, even, you know, like a lack of interest. That, you know, the kind of the same type of lack of interest that ensues during depression. But here, and maybe that's the case, it's almost like a depression, because with that lack of interest in things that were once something, if things that you felt super passionate about, also comes the inability to invest energy and time into making your home and even yourself feel luxurious, or refined. Like the Queen of Pentacles in the upright is about refinement. It's about, I always try to use the analogy that, like, there's the King of Pentacles is the guy who it creates the warm, inviting, or provides the stable environment for the warm, inviting home space. The Queen of Pentacles is the one who comes into the home, turns on the music, lights the scented candles, cooks the amazing meal, makes sure that the fabrics in the bed and on the couch are, you know, luxurious and feel nice, and the colors are rich, and she makes the home. The King of Pentacles creates the house and provides the house. The Queen of Pentacles creates the home. And in the reverse, it could be that there's an impatience here where you're almost not even interested in maintaining a home space. You want to escape all of it. You don't want to have to strive for something. It could be that you're departing from something here in the past. Looking at this Two of Pentacles, this energy of the present kind of is telltale that the thing that you chose in the recent past over something else was not the typical choice. You might have taken some time to really think about it, but it may have been an atypical choice for you. Because it's disconnecting you from something that makes you passionate and determined and ambitious. It's almost like an irresponsible energy here. Somebody who's just like throwing caution to the wind. Devil may care energy. Capricorn, because Queen of Pentacles is Capricorn. This is during Cancer season. We're seeing this play out, moving towards Cancer season. We're just about to enter Gemini season, but I'm seeing this as my timing cards are always, if they're in the reverse, they're the opposite sign of the zodiac wheels. This is a Capricorn card. We're looking at Cancer season. The devil may care attitude, as opposed to somebody who's ambitious and determined. Not really, not even really devoting as much time to career as you normally would. Because there's an impatience about trying to understand something or gain insight into all these different viewpoints. It's like fixation, obsession. There's an obsession with something that you can't wrap your head around. You can't wrap your head around it. And you feel like if you put yourself in these different predicaments and in these different positions, that you'll do it, but you're growing increasingly impatient, and it's making you act out in all of these different ways. Tell me more. Oh, that's not a... So, I don't know very many Scorpios, so I don't really... What else? Sun. Yeah, Cancer season to Leo season. The sun. It's going to be some light shed on something, that's for sure. You got moon in reverse, sun in upright. There's going to be some light shed on something. You're going to get your wish. There'll be some happiness that's going to happen here. The sun is pretty temporary happiness. Because in 12 hours it's gone. If you live in a really sunny place. Sorry. But it's not funny. Nothing's funny here. But going from this, this could also be somebody who's not comfortable in their home. That's Queen of Pentacles. But there's going to be something that's going to happen in Cancer through to Leo season, where you're going to it might actually be this things are heating up to a point that's a little too warm, too hot. Could be with Leo, but it could also be that there could be a tension that's being, or a spotlight being shown on this disconnectedness with a responsible, sophisticated, more put together energy of the feminine. Like the abandonment of the refined, ambitious individual it is happening here. There could be a spotlight being shown on that. You do still have a choice here, though. That's what's being kind of conveyed here, is that there is still a choice. There's always a choice to do differently. To realign. There's always a choice to realign. Kind of just getting that with this person in the meditation is aligned. And then here, everything's just all kind of chaotic and up in the air. Like juggling instead. There could be a spotlight being shown on this Ten of Cups. Also could be that there's going to be in the present some discussion about marriage, or a marriage that was impending in Leo season, or a relationship that was supposed to really hit the high note in Leo season. a yes. This is a yes card. It's about wishes come true, but it's, you know, it's, you know, the wish you make when you blow your candles out on your birthday cake. It's not the wish that you've been, you know, secretly holding deep inside of your chest that you don't say out loud, dare ever say out loud, right? Like, it's not the same thing. Lastly, and what's happening in the present for Scorpio? Sun, Moon, Rising, and Venus. I don't know why I'm so contemplative with this. Like, just kind of like everything. It seems like I have to be so carefully measured with what I'm saying. You have to be so carefully measured with what you're saying. Either to somebody or about something. It's because of this. It's because you know that you're acutely aware that there's something with that, with those people over there. You know that if you say the wrong thing, it's 3, I have to take them. You know that if you say the wrong thing, you'll be up shit creek without a paddle. Okay, so we have the 5 cups here in the reverse. This is a call to gratefulness, a call to gratitude. Having the Leo here, there's an exercise of gratuity that happens because somebody hears yes, an answer of yes for something, or gets their wish, or there's happiness or joy, an event that brings about joy. And so here with the 5 of Cups, and there ends up being a graciousness and a gratitude and an acceptance of gratitude or great thanks that's being given for something. Oh, it's perplexing. I have heartbreak here with the 3 of Swords and the Wheel of Fortune. Fixed signs of Taurus, Scorpio, Leo, and Aquarius. Heartbreak. Fated turn of events. Gratitude, heartbreak, fated turn of events. Joyous event, gratitude. Heartbreak and pain, sadness, loss, grief. And then a fated turn of events. There's some confusion lifting about a painful event in the present. About how it was fated, it was meant to be, and that you're grateful, although it's painful. You're grateful, although it's painful. Because you knew that it was meant to be, that it had to happen that way. You dream about this. You dream about the pain. See? This person's like laying here. There's phantoms. There's a face. You dream about the face. No nightmares about the face. The painful event. I don't know if that's on camera, but the painful event. Your dreams about it. I don't want to talk about it. You don't want to talk about it either. Okay, so since we don't want to talk about it, we're going to go ahead and we're going to, and this is in the present, this is happening, by the way, in the future, because I feel like, why do I feel like this is like the longest one out of all of them? Oh yeah, we're already at 40 minutes. We got to get going. Okay. In the future for you, Scorpio, Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus. They will. They will. They will. They will. They said, look at the words. Oh my God. Spirit said they will look for pink and black. I don't know what that means, but you probably do. Okay. In the future. Oh my God. Come on, come on, come on. That's too many. You can't take that many. Anything else? Come on. But it's only because, like, I talk for so long about everything. Okay, strength. Leo season again. Yeah, in Leo season, there's something significant happening. In fact, we're probably looking more towards Leo Virgo cusp season. The need to have courage to discuss, but also courage to express the truths, the inner truths that you've learned about yourself. The things that you decided were, the things that you know were important to give voice to. Also, bravery and courage to accept that perhaps confusion is okay and that we don't necessarily need to understand everybody's perspective on things, right? Okay. King of Cups in reverse, there you are. Also, to not necessarily be giving of your emotional energy at a time when, or is this somebody being demanding? That's perplexing, because I was kind of thinking, is this guy offering his cup? But then I was thinking, wait a second, no, is he asking for somebody to fill his cup? Or rather than asking, is he demanding somebody fill his cup, right? The King of Cups is you, Scorpio energy, but it's also the individual who is extremely well controlled. They have the best self-control when it comes to whether or not they give their heart space, right? They don't give their cups freely. And this guy is, I can't tell. The look on his face kind of looks like, and you can zoom in to take a look if you want. The look on his face kind of seems like he's saying, you're going to pour in more beer, please. Or, give me more wine. He's not really, doing so politely. You're offering, it seems, because he's got a rather forceful fist, right? So it kind of seems like he's demanding somebody fill his cup, impatiently demanding somebody fill his cup. Somebody who's got the courage to do that. In the future. Page of Pentacles. Yeah, there's a gift coming. Peace offering. Timepiece. I'm actually really focused on this being like a wall hanging or a dream catcher or something like with glass. Something circular. Could also just be somebody giving you like a token of affection, but something small, something that you can hold in your hands, something tangible. I know a Scorpio who gave me this. See, it's just something silly and stupid, and he actually called it my bullshit crystal. He gave it to me and he said, do you like your bullshit crystal? That's what he actually called it. But think of this as a Page of Pentacles thing. It doesn't, it's not a diamond. It's a silly little crystal. The bullshit crystal. Here, bullshit crystal card. Do you know what I mean? But that's what's coming in here. This guy is demanding, he wants somebody to fill his cup. And somebody's like, well, I can't fill your cup, but I can give you a bullshit crystal. And his friend's like, no, but I want you to fill my cup. They're impatient. And maybe that's all the ambitiousness that you have for sharing a heart space with somebody right now. You've got other things going on, especially at the end of the present line here. Still thinking about some heartbreak, right? And else. Okay, the Knight of Cups. Okay, so, well, you got like the small token, right? And then you've got the Knight of Cups, but the action is poetic. The action is romantic. The action is very knight in shining armor, guy riding in on the white horse, singing the songs. Think Say Anything. Think the guy with the we used to call it a GB, the boombox. The boombox under the window, holding it up, playing the song. But very romantic energy. Somebody who's coming in to rescue somebody. Knight in shining armor, right? The action is very romantic. I almost feel like what's happening, whether this is you or somebody else, but what's happening is that there's a romantic individual in the future who's coming in to rescue this person, save them from themselves, in fact. To shed light on a situation. And this person was actually kind of wishing in the present that somebody would kind of, pop up, and kind of Calgon them into, something better, or fix the things for them that are going wrong. That's not really the greatest way, but, What else? Scorpio. I don't know if that's you now. Maybe it is. Oh my god, you got 3 again. Okay, well that's it for you. 9 of Pentacles in the reverse with the King of Pentacles. Is, remember, the guy who brings the home. Taurus energy. And then the 6 of Swords. Somebody's moving on. Not necessarily, moving on instead of moving away is a great way to put that. 6 of Swords. Somebody's moving away from things that no longer serve them, moving on to greener pastures or a place that holds better promise, just kind of taking leave, getting rid of the old crappy things that are going on and sailing away to a new place that's got a little bit more promise, trying to move on from this heartbreak, in fact, I would say. Trying to regain some stability in the home space. They're not necessarily connected with the Queen of Pentacles energy right now. They're not in a place where they have ambition to do much, but they like to kind of like spring forth and do a whole bunch of that, refinement and, let's build a career and get a promotion, blah, blah, blah. But they're definitely about trying to achieve the stability and make their home space more reliable and sturdy and steadfast and, foundations first, right? Because at a certain point, if they don't start to embody this, it's just this lack of independence that's happening with the 9 of Pentacles to begin with. It's almost like the Knight of Cups comes in and he's taking the action because they're seeing that this individual is lacking the independence that they once had. They don't have the ability to do things on their own and create an environment for themselves that it makes them feel that they can live into their appropriate sophisticated self. So they're going to create the foundations and the stable portion of things to start. And help them move on from pain and the unfortunate events that are happening here. And moving forward and moving on, leaving this stuff behind. You know? I don't know. That's what I got. Let's look at the Purple Love Dreams Oracle by La Rose Rev in New York. It's just going to show us some sign synchronicities, things that potentially could help you understand if you're on the right path during the month. Let's blow that away. Okay. Signs and synchronicities for Scorpio, Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus. What are the things that will help you know if you're on the right track during May? It's so funny that I opened my mouth about the reading not being an hour long, and I bet you it's an hour long. See what we got. Okay, belly dance. This Pisces got exactly the same card. You might have Pisces in your chart. Could also be kind of looking at better ways to, you know, look at the sturdiness of your body, how structurally sound your body is. You could be looking more deeply into your fitness routine and building strength for yourself, because it doesn't, you kind of might be feeling like you're kind of not really built with, you know, a lot of strength and balance and stability in mind. What else? I'm not really feeling super feminine. I'm just trying to get in touch with that. Communication. Somebody's missing the phone call. Sorry. Somebody's missing somebody's phone calls. Which is really particularly specific. I heard it. The card doesn't say this. The card actually says good conversations and needing to be heard, difficulties in vocal expression. Because, you know, I heard that somebody's missing the phone calls. And I think that's super unique, because in this day and age, everybody texts. Nobody, I mean, I'm probably more apt to get an email from some folks before I would ever get a phone call from them. But somebody specifically, this is why it's so important, is because it's very old-fashioned to talk on the phone, and I think that somebody, that's a message for somebody. Somebody's missing the phone calls. There might be like a random ring happen, or a number of rings, or the phone's ringing, or it could just be the symbolism of a phone call. The phone calls. Somebody's missing the phone calls. What else? Anything else? Okay, and the fan. You know, this one and this one have come out twice. I can't remember who this one came out for. Might have been Libra. Fan, a trip to Japan. A fan and a trip to Japan. Chinatown somewhere. Sorry, Chinatown somewhere. I know. Yeah, that's what I got for you. I'm done because this is going to take forever if I sit here and try to really listen. All right, Scorpio. This is just going to get way better with time because I'm not going to, you know, how could it get any worse? Whatever. Enjoy your night. I'll see you when I see you next. Bye.